Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mabel Pan. I'm an aromatherapist, yoga teacher, life coach, healer trainer, and I am myself. Good to see you all in this time of most of us still staying home, and some of you are actually getting ready to start going back to the workforce, to your job. And at this time I'll find that some of the oils that I know and I really love would be quite helpful to assist you in this transition. And it's allergy season starting. A lot of people who love outdoor has been trying to walk on trails and stuff might start to find that it's stuffy nose time again, and kind of struggling if you should keep going out or not. And like my husband, he has seasonal allergies, so it's already start having stuffy nose and stuff. But I would use oil to help him breathe at night and sleep, so he actually can stay a little more comfortable. And I found that we human are very connected to nature. We actually yearn for nature, and a lot of times when we go into nature, we calm down right away. It's like an instinct built in us. We're part of nature to start with. So there are times that when somebody asks me what to do and what to use, I'll actually send them to, go out to the park and hug a tree and see if that works out quickly. That's why I found it that maybe it's time to introduce some tree oils that if in case you're not close by to a park, or you simply cannot, be close to any pollen in the park in nature at this time, or you're going back to work that doesn't allow you so much time to have a walk outside anymore, staying close to nature can be done with the scent of nature, which are trees, flowers, and plants. So I found tree oils very grounding, just like the tree. The trees are very grounding. They stay in one spot, expand, and being very stable. And that's the property of tree oil too. They ground very quickly. They ground us very quickly, which give us sense of security, sense of support, and also like feeling very hugged, feeling very loved, feeling very taken care of. This is what I found with most tree oils, and the scent are usually not as aggressive as flowers. So if you find that some of the scent for you in some essential oil too aggressive, try some tree oils. So tree oils are usually more subtle. And the only exception I found is probably the Christmas tree, which is Idaho balsam fir, which is a little more, I shouldn't say aggressive, it's a little more active. That unlike all the other wood oil that I'll show you, they're more towards the subtle side. So you find that having a smell, you want to use essential oil, but finding a lot of smell are quite aggressive or quite strong, you can try wood oil and tree oils first. That may help you get used to smelling something and not getting triggered too much and not getting bombarded. And that's also true for a lot of people who have allergy to start with, because your nose are already very sensitive. So if you use this kind of oil, might help you unlock the sense of smell without being too harsh or too rushing. Now, sense of smell is very important. That's why it's within our senses. As the name aromatherapy implies. Like, aromatherapy is a therapy of smell. Why smell? It's important. I explained it in other videos before, because the gland of the smell is very close to all the other glands in the brain, and they have very close connection to each other. That helps release and relieve emotions and traumas, and help heal traumatic memories. So scent of smell, it's a gift to us. that help us to cope with everyday stress and to get by with our emotions, to also enjoy. Like, think about not just negative emotion that can get released, but also it can also ramp up the positive emotion that we would like to enjoy. Like, there's all oils that are for feeling relaxed, feeling happy, feeling excited, feeling passionate, etc., etc., etc. So today I'm bringing you some relaxing oil from the woods, from the trees. We have cedarwood here. This is sacred sandalwood. And this is royal Hawaiian sandalwood. This one is Northern light black spruce, which is very special to Canadians because it's native Canadian. And this is Copaiba. And I will start with Copaiba first because that's the least scented oil. If you really have a problem to smell and you really want to reactivate your smell without getting into huge impact to start with Copaiba. This is the least smelling oil that I ever have experienced. It's almost like you put it all the way here, you still won't smell too much. You really need to sniff it really strongly in to really feel the scent of it. So this is a very good oil to bring to workplace, especially you have a scent-free kind of policy there. Most likely your friends and your coworker would not be able to smell it from a distance, like even just 2 feet. Now with social distancing is 2 meters, they won't smell you and it won't get into the air that people are going to complain about you. And this oil is also very stress releasing. It's actually used particularly for stress releasing. So it's like a office oil that is for your workplace. Then when you put it on, maybe behind the neck, along the spine, or at the bottom of the skull behind, it helps you release some like overthinking related stress that you like help calm down the mind and calm down the nerve triggers along the spine. So when you are in a stressful state, like a lot of times when we stress, we kind of like this, and then it restricts the nerve flow, and then there are like reflexes of the nerve that comes back into like tensing up the muscle and stuff. So this, if you put it like right here, I usually recommend people put it right at the back, at the bottom of the neck, called the C7, the cervical spine number 7. You put it right there, it gets up to the head, it gets down to the rest of the spine, it gets across to the shoulder, which release a lot of stress relating to all of them. One spot, multiple purposes. And it's not an expensive oil, it's quite a cheap oil. Again, not so strong in the scent. You can bring it to workplace, keep it in your drawers, and getting very handy. You just put it out and rub it, sniff the hand a little bit. And again, because the scent is very, very, very light, you can put it very close to your nose and would not be too aggressive with your sense of smell. This is a very good way of gently reawaken your sense of smell. Remember, the sense of smell serve huge purposes in our well-being. So if you have been struggling with sense of smell, it's good to use it to reawake your ability to smell. Okay, next one is Northern Light Black Spruce. And as I said before, this is native Canadian. It's being farmed in BC. And this oil, it's used, I find it like equivalent energetically to frankincense. And because it's native to us, it actually serves us better in terms of, you know, weather, energetic level, seasons, and the properties of like the grid lines of the north part of the earth. So just like the Palo Santo is the frankincense of Africa, the frankincense itself is the spiritual oil for the Middle East, and then Asian has their own stuff. This is Native American. I recommend this a lot to my fellow Canadian clients and friends. Price-wise, it's less than frankincense, so it serves the purpose. Like if you want to kind of meditate into a spiritual realm and you want a more energetic updates, more energetic support, this will help very much. I actually have a friend reflect to me that one day she was in very heavy processing, and then she was actually guided to look for this oil I gave her a long time ago that she kind of like hide it in a drawer, and her guidance was to look this oil up and put it on and help her process. So this is a very nice smelling oil. Now, you might find that I've been teaching people not to put the bottle here, especially if you don't know the source of of your fragrance and stuff. But I like all this wood oil, I'll just put right here because number one, again, it is not as strong as all the floral and the herbal oils. It is much more mild and subtle. And this is like the oil that I love from the company that I love. So I have a lot of experience with them. So I just go straight directly under my nose. And actually I find that it has to be this close for me personally to really have the satisfaction that I want in terms of vibration and energy support. So it's very pleasant, very nice, and very uplifting. Now, I talked about this two together with a different brand, and I'll tell you why. Now, Sandalwood, Royal Hawaiian Sandalwood, Sacred Sandalwood. They're all sandalwood. They're like the same family with different, like slightly different species. Sandalwood, from the company I use, Young Living, had stopped selling them as oil individually because of the supply of the tree is running low in the whole world. So a few years ago, Young Living decided to not to overly harvest sandalwood, try to keep the reserve, keep the trees and replant the trees. So they only keep sandalwood oil in one, I think it's only one of the products left in the moisturizer that I'm using. Sandalwood helped the skin a lot. A lot of skin product had sandalwood in it since like very old times. People use sandalwood in Asia a lot for meditation, for calming the nerve, for helping to sleep, and also put into skincare product in the royal family to keep the skin glowing. It eases off fine lines, it eases off like dryness, it eases off a lot of like blemishes and stuff. Sandalwood, it's a very, very skin friendly oil. You can mix it with all natural skin product and make it a very royal kind of level of skin product. It's a treat for the skin. Now, because Young Living doesn't have the sandalwood, the regular sandalwood, I got it from Rocky Mountain, which is another brand that I would order in case I don't get them from Young Living. Why? And since on Young Living, as energetic light worker that I am, I sense everything in their frequency and their vibrational level. Young Living remain in the oils, the best vibrational level that is healing to not just physical. So that's why I keep insist on using Young Living. But if they don't have, then I'll get it from some other sources. This is another brand that I would use in case I don't get it from Young Living. I will use Rocky Mountain, where you can order online and you don't need to sign up. This is pretty easy to use website. Price is cheaper, but you get what you pay for. Remember that. Young Living is expensive because it's not just a physical oil. The energetic level and the vibration is very different than all the other brands out there. This is a possible substitute, the Rocky Mountain, but it's not even close to the vibration, but would be still outbeat the other brands that I come into contact with. Now, just to specify, I never use every single brand in the world. I did not have knowledge of all the different brands. So if you're an energetic worker, if you find another brand that is vibrational compatible with Young Living, by all means, please go to them. Okay. But this is the one that I found that works for me. So, in replacement of the regular sandalwood, Young Living cultivate two different sandalwood since then. Way more pricey, but also high in vibration. Again, you get what you pay for. I often being asked of what's the difference between the two. Now, Hawaiian has more of subtle, earthy, and grounding kind of. Both of them are grounding, but this one is like deep grounding. It's kind of scent. So when you smell it, you already feel like, oh, like that. Now, where the sacred sandalwood, it's grounding, it's relaxing, but it's more like a little more energizing and going upward. Right? It's a little more uplifting in terms of grounding. Like, does that sound like contradiction? But think about a tree. The tree, they ground, they also expand. Like, it's been widely known that the network of the roots of the tree is exactly pretty much the reflection of how many leaves and branches grow out into the shape on top. So, as above, so as below. As below, so as above. So this kind of like, the more grounding the tree is with the network of the roof, this is how much they can expand in the branches and the leaves. So this is what I feel like the two oils and difference. Like, there are many explanations about this too. I'm not going to repeat what you can find out there in Wikipedia, in different websites of essential oil, and Google. I would explain what I found that you probably cannot Google. This is, for me, this is the root of the tree, and this is more like the expansion of the tree in energetic terms. So you see what I mean? So if you use this to ground, and then use this to expand through the grounding, you have the full impact energetically of expansion. That's what we talk about: growth, energetic growth, vibrational growth. So I would use the two together, maybe the grounding first and then the expansion. But if I feel like already very kind of loose, very ground, very heavily ground, I'll actually use this to balance, to make use of the grounding into more growth, right? You cannot always just ground. You become stagnant. You become sluggish. You need to utilize the grounding for growth. If a tree only expands the roots and without enough leaves up there to absorb, to come into photosynthesis, to absorb the sunlight and the air, and to also give out carbon dioxide, the roots would not go, would get rotten too. Like, it's a package, right? Your grounding should balance, should in sync with your growth at the same time. Some people, this is one thing I found that over the time of healing, I also help a lot of healers to heal themselves when they're healing others. Now, when they work with other people, they feel very tired. They go home and ground. But they ground too much, forgetting about the growth. They end up getting too frustrated, too sluggish, and not wanting to do anything else than actually cut down your purpose of being the healer. Like, if you don't want to even get up and do something rather than just resting, then you lose the purpose of life, and then it's run into a cycle of self-deficiency and self-sabotaging. So if you're already feeling self-sabotaging, any of you that I'm speaking energetically to you, any of you that feeling self-sabotaging, think about growth again. It's time to grow again. It's time to grow from your grounding already. But if you're feeling very lightheaded, feeling very disoriented, all over the place, too hectic, then ground heavily. Think about you as a tree. What are you lacking? Build that, and then come back into balance. Okay, so you can put this into diffuser. You can put it right under your nose before and after your meditation. I would use this, which is a low price into skin product for hand lotion, face moisturizer, and stuff. But being cheaper price doesn't mean that it is cheap. It's just relatively low price. Okay. Last but never least, this is another not so pricey oil. It's pretty economical. Cedarwood. Cedarwood, it's again very woody, very earthy, but it also have a sweet smell. So it's kind of like in between roots and branches. It's kind of like holding up kind of grounding. So it's not pulling you down to stability, nor does it pulling you up into flying. It's kind of like in the middle that hold you in space. And it's been said it's been used in a lot of hair growth. And you can put it around the scalp. I find that red Canadian cedarwood work better in that sense, but it's not being manufactured anymore. If you can find it from another brand, you can try that too. This is also very calming in the head nerve, calming in your thinking, kind of like Copaiba, but it has more like mid chakra kind of effect, kind of like putting you in place and stay there. And it can also be used to ground like celestial energy into your, again, midsection. So that's why sometimes people put it over the head for receiving and grounding the energy into the rest of you. Again, it's not a very expensive oil. It's easy to use. It's sweet and pleasant to smell. I will put it into a diffuser, help me when I sleep. There will be dreams coming in. There will be updates coming in. It will help me integrate. So I hope you find like really good help with all of these oils, depending on your finance and budget at this time. This time we have a lot of changes going on in the world, a lot of uncertainty. Most of us are in the dark. Nobody, you might think that you know certain things, but I can say nobody it's really knowing everything. It doesn't matter what your specialty is. It's like we are still like searching through the dark. So this time, grounding, find your ground, find your stand is very important. And from your stand and ground to expand more and accept more with an open mind and open heart, it's also very important. I hope you find that openness and stability so you can have the ground to be kind to everybody else. Because there's really no one person is totally right or totally wrong. We just have different opinions right now, which is good. It's part of awakening. So let yourself ground and also be open at the same time. I hope you well. I hope you find peace and ease in this time. And lots of grounding and growing and expansion. See you next time. If you have any questions, welcome to leave it in the comment. If you want to see certain oils, put it in the comment, click the like so that I get more exposure. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't been. I have different things going on all the time. So see you next time. Thank you very much. Have a very great day.